Welcome gamers to another One Piece Bounty Rush video. So in today's video, finally getting around to doing like the top tier list, top characters like in One Piece Bounty Rush. So before I start, I actually wanted to do like maybe like a top 20, but I'll just focus on the top 15. What I think is the top 15 characters. But like before I say anything, like my number 15 to probably 8, it's like I can give you room to argue. Maybe some spots are interchangeable depending on the characters, because I haven't actually used all these characters, but even ones I haven't used that I've seen like a lot, like from when I'm playing or gameplays and all of that, I feel like I'm confident that their spot from number 7 to the number 1 like is solidified to save the list. So yeah, let's hop right into it. And for my number 15, I've got head of son or daughter, whatever you want to call him or her, Yamato. So Yamato was pretty good when she released. I mean, she released just after, what is it, Akainu, I think. So just before the third anniversary with Kaido and Luffy there. So yes, she had a time counter attackers really strong, still has decent damage, a lot of damage, but with the pressure that Zoro offers, the recovery book of Kaido, the band Big Mom gives her, she can't handle that much. She can't handle that much pressure and be as dominant of a runner as she was. And her traits, she had like percentage damage like against Akainu and Kid and all of that. She was countering the top tier characters at that time, but now at the cap speed is HP reliant, and the top runners now like King and Kaido are not HP reliant. It's either when the ally is in your treasure or the ally is not in your treasure, or all sorts of varying conditions. But yeah, when you're looking at these traits, yeah, good damage, decent cap resistance when you're capping, could get probably good a fair amount of good wins with her, but she's not it at the moment. That's why she's at number 15 for me. And at number 14, I put the King of the Pirates, Goldie Roger, because he is still like a powerful unit when it comes to destroying the enemy field. Like if you can stack up, try to play mostly with your skills, stay away from the Big Mom's fire, Zoro's normals, and Kaido's recovery block. I mean, you could do something with Roger, definitely. But he's meant to be an attacker to kill. Unlike Yamato, he has to be forced to fight face to face with Big Mom, Kaido, and Zoro with their normals, and so you can capture the flag. That's why I placed a bit higher than Yamato, and that's why Roger's number 14. He was for a good for a bit, like for 2 years, still like a top 5, top 10 character, but now all of these are 4th anniversary units and the 3.5 anniversary units, he fell off that cliff of being, but he's still a top character. Like you can still find use for him and like really perform well in the league with this character. So moving on to my 13th spot, one of the most toxic characters, of course, Sparrow. People are still crying about him till this day, and I mean, his skill 2, skill 1, really dangerous. But if he ever meets someone who has status resistance like for 80%, like the LT Cracker, those type of units, he gets bodied. If he meets a Fulmer Shanks with the heavy state, gets bodied. So there's those you need to, and then also like if there's the characters that have massive defense buff, only your skill 1 can do something. You Candy Maiden, and his traits not really good. At least his Candy Maiden has fixed damage, so if these characters he can't deal that much damage to, that fixed damage can choke them up a notch, and maybe a T boost you can wipe them out a lot of it. But he is toxic once you get candied, and it's most like there's not many characters like below him or even above him can take care of him once you got them on lockdown. And his recovery is saying. So we're moving on to the number 12 spot. I mean, This unit is still an nightmare because he has attack increase and he still has the incinerate damage. For me, it's a kind of, even though I don't want to put him in the top 10 spot anymore because of, Bender introducing that trait that can remove buff states. Yeah, basically canceling out the, what made him so powerful. Like that magnetic state, his normals, the 3 dodge he has, like he had when he was able to keep enemies away and give you, protection against team boosts or skills that could one-shot you. But now, there's so many multiple hit enemies, especially like with Anthony's, Dofi, all of these things. But even now, there's better counters, King, Kaidos, or all of them. We can be a kind. Even green units with tap disadvantage can take down a kind now in this meta because of how, this trade is flying around with the top tier units. So yeah, he, deserves number 12 spot. Yeah, he's really good, but you really have to not, get unlike with matching with team full of Zoros, Kairos, and Big Mums. Yeah, you will see, like, you're not going to dominate as much as he was in, that spot. So with my number 11 spot, he wasn't even on my list at the beginning, but I am putting Hakuba. Bender did the hardest and tried to shaft star this unit, but he's really good. I feel like he deserves a spot like this. Really does, good damage to Big Mom, Taro, and even Zoro. Like, even though Zoro 95 stat, but we'll get to why, is S. But mostly people know that was a trait that he can, with skill 1, he has a 50% chance to stun himself if his HP is below 80%. Because when you look at his traits, he has 2. I don't understand why. So he nullifies stun when his HP is 80% or above. The HP restriction should have not been there, in my opinion. Because when you look at his, like, the trait 2, is when his HP is more than 80%, he removes status effects and nullifies status effects. So it was already nullifying stun. So I feel like they just doubled down on what was already there, and that could have been, maybe they could have just put a cap, like healing or something like that, or give him an attack boost on this character trait, something like that, to make him, even bite more than the damage increase he gets in enemy treasure. Could have been a very offensive runner, but he has the Mako cap speed is pretty good. But with like the Dofi medal that you can, it has a medal trait to reduce stun, so you can run like attack and defense on him and put those reduced stun chance thing on, Hakuba, so that he doesn't get stunned a lot, and then you perform well in the league. But yeah, he's really good. Once your skills land, then you're able to bait enemies with that. Yeah, I can see where he can shine. But of course, Shanks, Roger, you don't want to see them because they can tear you up. Because not only their healing ability, every time they receive damage, for Roger's like above 30%, and like for Shanks is like above 20% of the HP, they recover like 30% HP. So they absolutely hard counter you, and if you can't one-shot them or deal damage that doesn't heal them, you're getting wrecked. Unfortunately, blue units, they keep healing Roger and Shanks and all of that. But outside of that, he handles pretty much everyone well. Even if Zoro doesn't change color and gain that nullified stagger and knockback resistance, you will be able to take care of him and tank him a bit. So moving on to my top 10. So my top 10, actually, not many people would be surprised. I wouldn't have put him if he wasn't such a dominant defender. I put the Onigashima Broke. He's really good, broken. His defensive buff, even though usually defenders that are meta, they're like damage reduction, but he is able to tank. But unless you run into EX Luffy's, which they're there, but you can avoid them if you're able to freeze them during their skill or something. You can play around with them dealing massive damage. And EX Luffy not being tanky like that, you can still handle them in some ways. But he is like one of those threats Blue Shanks as well if he stacked, and if he snaps you from far, he can one-shot you pretty much easily. And then all these other attack buff characters, even the Green Shanks, if he's stacked enough, he can deal damage to you. But because he's green and you have like, the pseudo damage reduction from that color advantage, you'll be able to deal with him. So yeah, that's why for me, Brook is like at number 10, that 30% fixed damage from his extra protection. His healing on freeze is insane. Similar to Cracker when he's healing with status effects and all of that. So I mean, he is a really good unit, I would say, and I would put him in that upper rank or like top 10 EXs and all. But this list will definitely change, in the coming months pretty soon. Like EXs are usually the most of these units that move up the list in this top 10. BF units, they can be good, but rarely do they hit up the top 10 list as we'd normally expect. Only for me in my list, you will see there's not a lot of BF units. There's still plenty of EXs, but there are BF units that are cracking that top 10. So by number 9, we've got Cracker. Cracker, a really good a blue attacker. I mean, this guy is insane. That skill 1 is what makes Cracker like demon he is, and him reduces status effects by 80%, getting that insane attack buff. He can, when Cracker is in that's the best Cracker. When he has that attack buff, he has a skill 1, and that I think his attack buff is for 5 seconds after his it's for 10 seconds. So that 10 seconds jump, that attack buff, and you have your skill 1, you are pretty much like a Green Shanks, because when Green Shanks is like that stack with his skill 1, you ignore damage reduction, you can one shot almost like anything in the game, because it's both types of high damaging traits. You ignore damage reduction, and then you have your attack boosted like crazy. So no unit can tank such a offensive onslaught, I would say that. And another trait that makes him a beast, when he's above 70%, he gets damage reduction and nullify stagger. That nullify stagger makes him able to not like use his own dodge so that you can bait an opponent with your skill or something like that. You can just keep pressuring them with your normals, and his normals are really good. They really have a wide range and all of that. So I mean, Cracker is an absolutely amazing unit and deserves the number 9 spot for me. So for number 8, I went with Dream Luffy. Even though he's a bit slower than most of all these characters, like he's the oldest of all these top 10 characters in this list, he's still keeping his relevance to the meta because of his one-shot capability and his invincible skills. And yeah, but it's all just about bounce rate. That bounce rate, because it ignores defense, multiple hits, sometimes you can just use it like King Kong gun, and then your skill 2, you don't even charge it, you launch the Kong gun, and that's it. So it's able to just one-shot many opponents. And the reason why I place him above Cracker, because at least he has an opportunity to one-shot a character that is very threatening for all types of blues, Green Shanks. If Luffy is built up enough, he can get to a point where he is consistently one-shotting Green Shanks with his skills. Cracker cannot do that with any of his skills unless it's team boost. But this EX Luffy can do it without the need of team boost, because even just one Shanks in the enemy lineup, they can easily take you out like it's nothing. So they do make these blue attackers, not high in the list, in my opinion, as they should be, because they are really still good in the meta. And because the meta is red, you're running these ones and you're dominating in league. But as I say, like one blue Shanks, even some Kados, they can do much damage to you without team boost, some with team boost, and then they can just, make you get KO'd on all of that. So yeah, that's why Luffy's at number 8. And another blue attacker, which is the was the extreme blue attacker Shanks. He is a really good unit. Well, the only reason why he's better than them, he's crazy. Like when he one-shotting, he's one-shotting his normals because his attack buff. Like you just need 4 kills. Previously, when he was like before adjusting, you needed 5 kills. So now you just need 4 kills, and then you're already stacking and you're already killing. And his normals is the reason why he's like above both Cracker and Luffy. Yeah, his normals are really disgusting. They give him mobility, he can move fast, he can escape damage without, even if he loses his dodge. So I mean, he is in a pretty good spot, and I would rate him above. Yeah, this is where I said once you get to number 7, this is why I said like I'm pretty confident that these units are in the spot, but it's going to change pretty soon. Definitely an EX character is on the horizon. Yeah, and because I'm recording this just before that live stream that's going to happen, so it's going to be lower. Some characters going to be kicked out in top 10. We'll see how things pan out and how the new EX unit or whatever Bondi got cooked up in their factory will do for us. And then for number 6, yeah, we got Fulmerchenks. Even though Fulmerchenks is nerfed and Bandai is taking half of his traits away with the batch of units they've added, Kaido, all of these other units, don't want to say their names too much. He has, the damage and the one-shotting capability still. So as long as you play him cautiously, use his skills, avoid fighting with your normals against Zoro, Kaido, and Big Mom, and just keep sniping with him, you will become like number 1 enemy for the team. They will hunt you down to make sure you get killed because your attack buff 100% with that skill 1. It's still one-shotting most characters. Like in the 95, there's only these top 10 units around you. They can just make fun of you, but other than that, 99% of the game you're just messing them up and doing all the damage. So I still believe, even though Blue Shanks as an individual unit is better, but Green Shanks is still like a destructive menace. Then we move on to our number 5. Yeah, he is that number 6 spot there, but he will keep falling off depending on how they make the new units. If they keep having that trade, things will quickly go out of the top lane, turn like nothing pretty soon. And then for number 5, yeah, I placed Zoro. Definitely better than Shanks, definitely better than all these other attackers, even though his win rate might not be better than them, these other attackers I just mentioned. He is still like has the newest traits, very, very, very tanky. As we know, like one of the tankiest attackers. He is, I think, the tankiest attacker in the game. I don't think anyone comes, maybe the Blue Shanks with his defense buff, but no one comes pretty close to what he's able to do when he's like fully tanky. With his traits and his normals and the ability to change color and just pressure you and nullify everything you've got in your skill set, he's able to just completely destroy you. And that Ashura skill, depending on the character you are, you're not able to avoid it. It's either you die or it's like can be an instant death skill. That skill 1, pretty long range, like, and it's very wide. The skill is very wide, like even if you aim at that person, it gets other people hit too. And of course, like all these other EX attackers, he has like the team boost for attack. And of course, another thing, like when his element is changed, he gets that attack buff. And with I think he has a bit of damage increase. Yes, when like you get the type advantage, so with that 30% damage increase and 50% attack buff, you are just cooking the enemy. Like it's a one shot. So avoiding changing Zoro's color with his Ashura is the best move. Maybe you can think it and maybe change the right around, but yeah, he can put you in a checkmate scenario with his skill too, depending on which character you're using, of course. And I feel like he deserves number 5 spot. I mean, the only drawbacks you'd say is like he can't move with his normals. His normals that they are linear, they are like slashes, and they move that bounce towards the enemy. It doesn't move him. That's one thing I would, have a complaint about him. Other than that, I mean, he's an attacker. He does what he's supposed to do. But unfortunately, not the game changing or the game breaking when it comes to carrying you higher in league with wins and all of that. I mean, that's why I wouldn't call him the best attacker. But with all of these traits, extra traits, definitely could argue that you could argue that he is the best attacker. On my number 4th spot, I got the Fulbright Uta. I mean, many people not argue against this because Zoro, many people have pulled Zoro, so they feel like he's better. But not having to having not used a character like, or you haven't seen them being powerful, because not a lot of people will run Uta because even if she is a real powerful unit, because it's not an X. Like most players in Bounce Rush, they're okay with the really powerful extreme units and all the likes. And yeah, that's where you stand with them and everything like that. So I mean, with Uta, they like the Infinity Normals. That when there's a thing like when Zoro is fighting, the enemy can still dodge and they can still pit your skills with you. When Uta is fighting, 90% of the time, the enemy can move and they're just at your, they're just at your command. Like you can do whatever you want with them, basically. Even though that sounds kind of sus, but yeah, that's what basically happens when Uta's fighting. And the fact that her normals don't remove that Sing Sing effect until it's finished, or she downs you. Yeah, so you are like basically and with like warlords you can add extra time. Like when if like with these characters I just mentioned, like the Fulbright Uta, Zoro, Fulbright Shanks, and Marineford Shanks, even the Dream Luffy, Group, all of this, you can move. It depends on the player skill level, but if your player skill level is high enough, you can definitely put them top 5, some of them in the top 3, depending on how you see it. So yeah, we are now done with all the attackers that I should be in like the top 10, but this is going to change very soon as I keep reiterating that. So now the number 3 spot, I mean, now you can tell like who are the characters that are left. Basically, by now it's just placing them in the proper spot, the proper order, and we've got King. King the Wildfire, the lead performer of the Beast Pirate. He's really good. He deserves number 3 spot. His skill 2 catches a lot of people, even though it's easy to dodge, but because his like his bird form is like really fast and he can fly, and just one-shot attackers, some runners, he can one-shot some defenders. Maybe if they're out of treasure, he can dash step up as well. And that team boost, that skill is one-shotting many units, definitely. And that skill 1 with 40% damage reduction, and with all these other traits like Nullify Stagger in the enemy treasure, Nullifying a Flame to help fighting Big Mom, because that cancels out most of Big Mom's big traits and all of that. So there is that, but his biggest weakness and why I feel he cannot be the best runner is status effect. When he has to fight like units like Perospero, Uta, and all of that, they get you quite a lot because their skill 2 leaves you quite vulnerable to those status effects, and you sometimes when you can instantly die from that, and there's nothing you can do. Other than that, yeah, there is an argument in a world where you can say like he is the best runner, but that is just personal preference. But we all know like who's the best and most annoying runner is. And let's move to that man, his captain, strongest creature in the world, this hybrid version of Green Kaido. Oh wait, yes. So this Kaido, I mean, he is a monster, definitely. He has the same trait that Kainu had, like has to take away your dodge, and some other units when your HP is above 70%. So he, with his, like, he has the best normal attacks in the game. They're definitely the fastest, and not, I don't think the most widest, but he, like, his normals are like the cream of the top, and they have pressure for sure. And then, like, even though he doesn't have like the greatest like attack buff or anything, like most of his traits are, you know, pretty much covering for the leg of damage that, you know, he could have. But he still has like damage increase when the recovery block is inflicted, but if somehow it can be removed, but only characters that, you know, they just did this effect by 80% can remove it, but not while he's fighting them, since his normals can continue to inflict the recovery block. So he is in a good spot, and he deserves number 2 because he has the most broken skill, the teleport skill, and that just puts him above every runner. Because he can just go to an empty flag, no one is thinking about it, no one is there. In the crunch time, in the 30 seconds, you can't get to, you can't like just teleport like a hacker and go to that green card at your spawn and get that flag. He's able to do that and just absolutely, you know, demolish. But you might be wondering, why is such a unit not number 1? Because I feel like, I don't feel like, but it is definitely pretty obvious that the EX10 Big Mom is definitely the number 1 unit. I didn't go through the honorable mentions actually, but at the end of the video, like, I'll put like the rest of the characters I did not mention, I'll put them like maybe in the tier list, and then you will, you know, discuss it amongst yourself. But Big Mom is definitely number 1 at the moment in Opbr, because no runner is able to counter, you know, Big Mom's gauge feeling to 100%, 150%. And it's not like Big Mom is the most tankiest defender. No, she is not. But Big Mom's 150% gauge, she has access to 3-4 skills in like one go. She can go to Laser Cannon, Heavenly Bomber, Fulgura, all in just a matter of 5 to 10 seconds. And just like that, when you're a Kaido capping, dead. When you're a King capping, trying to fight Big Mom, you're dead. When you Green Shanks, you don't one skill. Big Mom can like one-shot you with one of those runs. So all of these characters can get abused by either one of the skills in the top 10, definitely. And that places, you know, it above. Of course, those characters in the right situations, they can beat a Big Mom and everything. But Big Mom is more consistently the most, like, you could say, toxic character in the game at the moment. She is like most consistent, and she will easily farm you up wins, because that gauge feeling, let's say teleports to your base flag in the last seconds, but what if it doesn't, most of the time maybe it doesn't have time to capture all of that gauge because it's fully filled. And that is why, because if Kaido was able to just cap that flag so fast, then even in like, let's say in 7 seconds, he's capping that like nothing, then Kaido would be number 1. But in my opinion, Big Mom, because 150 can still win you matches and clutch out even Kaido's teleport shenanigans. And that is why, yeah, she's number 1. So I hope you guys, you know, enjoyed my long video. I think this is the first video I've ever published that's like 30 minutes. And yeah, I didn't, you know, put in much, but hopefully the video visuals, you know, put in the work and everything. And yeah, leave a like, subscribe. I hope you guys agree with my top characters, because I've definitely played this game for about, 4 years, almost 4 years, right? Yes, because I didn't start exactly when the game began, so it's almost about 4 years, maybe in this during this month. So I mean, that's something, you know, to take notice of, because I have seen what makes a really top character, whether it be win rate, how they are as a defender, and how they can be at runner. Big Mom, if she had only had a defender state, she wouldn't be top 1. that would be good to get. But because even with all of what I've discussed, she still has a runner trait, she can still be, one of the best units in the game. So I'll leave you with that, with those thoughts, and I'll see you in the next video.